Hello and welcome to Sunflower Philosophy Tarot. My name is Juliana, and today's pick a card reading is going to be motivational messages from Spirit. So I have already pre-selected all the cards for each group so that once we get to the groups, we can get right into each reading. And today's just about motivating you in whatever way that needs to come through for you. So I just pulled the cards that I set the intention for. They would be the ones that you need to hear the most, that will resonate the most with whatever you need to be motivated with regards to, or just like in general, like what's going to be the most motivating thing for you. So we are going to get you hopefully pumped up, fired up, or motivated in whatever way you uniquely need to be motivated in at this time. It's going to look different for everyone. I'm pretty excited to get into these messages and see what comes through. But first, let's do a brief centering exercise. So if you would like to skip to the group selection right now, feel free to go and do that. And then if you want to skip to your group, you can do that as well. But for those of you who want to get centered before you get into your group selection and get into the reading, we're just going to do that as we've been doing for the other recent pick a card readings and collective readings, because I find that's helpful for a lot of people, myself included, in getting centered right before getting into the readings so that we can all be as intuitive as possible when listening to what comes through. So for those of you who are sticking around for that, let's get comfortable. So as always, if you are in the middle of an activity or you're driving or you can't safely relax at this time, please feel free to skip this and come back at a later time. For those of you who are prepared to relax and sit back and close your eyes, if you feel called to, please do so now. And bring your attention to your breathing. Just notice the rhythm of your breath. And if you feel called to, as you notice your breathing and just feel the air coming in and flowing out, if you feel called to, feel free to begin to deepen your breath. And now, breathing is, other than being obviously essential to our continued existence in these human bodies, something that is essential to helping us calm down, center into ourselves, calm our nervous systems, and get in touch with our own higher guidance and intuition. And something that I noticed for my own self is that for a long time, I didn't even know how to breathe deeply or really breathe into my abdomen. And so sometimes when being asked to focus on my breathing, I would become a little bit anxious that I wasn't breathing correctly. One thing that's important to be aware of when you are doing these kinds of exercises is that it's okay if you notice that your breathing might be shallow or restricted a bit because of maybe some stress or just excess energy that you're holding on to. And the first step to relaxing it is actually just to allow whatever is happening to happen. And so for some people right now, that might be the best thing you can do. And for those of you who are ready to deepen your breath and focus on pulling more air into your lungs and deeper into your abdomen, you can begin to focus on loosening the muscles in your stomach, and you can even place your hands on your abdomen and just feel it rise and fall as you breathe. Again, just noticing and practicing non-judgment, noticing any thoughts you might have around whatever sensations you're experiencing in your body and letting those pass through. And messages that are coming through right now that may help those of you who are participating relax even further are affirmations such as, You are safe. That's something Spirit really wants you to feel into right now, to know you are safe. You are worthy. You are loved. And you are doing enough. And know that no matter what you are doing or not doing right now in your life, whatever areas of your life you are most focused on, there's nothing more you need to do right now than to just be. Just be with yourself in this moment. Just relax deeper and deeper into a sense of security. Notice if there's any resistance at this time to any of these words or any sensations or emotions you're experiencing in your body. Notice if you're feeling calm. Notice if you're feeling relaxed. Notice if you're feeling something other than those things. And feel free to name or label those experiences, or to not name or label them, whatever feels most useful to you right now. And just know that at any moment you can always return your attention to your breathing throughout this reading, throughout your day. Even just a few conscious breaths throughout your day help bring you back to yourself, help bring your body back to a state of deeper relaxation so that you can move through the world and your activities with a self-assurance and calmness that will help things flow more smoothly for you. And you can just relax into that knowledge now and get ready to select your group for this reading and receive the messages that are meant for you, and only those that are meant for you at this time. So now let's get into the group selection. So I have 4 groups today for you guys. I have assigned each group a song card, so I'll read you the song cards. You can pick based on that, pick based on the timestamps. Just pick based on whatever you feel most drawn to. Trust your intuition. And of course, feel free to pick more than one group if you're drawn to. Feel free to switch around if you feel like you picked one that's not really for you. Just have fun with it, experiment with it, and know that you will eventually find and be led to the messages that are truly for you at this time. So let's get into it. For group 1, we have the song Meant to Live by Switchfoot. Yeah, Meant to Live by Switchfoot. For group 2, we have Come Clean by Hilary Duff. Some throwbacks here. For group 3, we have Boys Will Be Bugs by Cavetown. And for group 4, we have the old classic Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen. So take some time to maybe observe these cards. You can even listen to the songs first to help you pick if you're not sure. Have fun with it. But yeah, just go with your intuition, and I will see you over in your group. Hi, group 1. If you selected Meant to Live by Switchfoot, then this is your motivational reading from Spirit today. And we're just going to get right into it. I've already pulled your cards, as I mentioned, so I'm just going to lay them all out, and then we'll see what they're telling you. What is your motivational message for today? So to start, I actually got 2 tarot cards for you guys. I was aiming for one, but I took both because they popped out very decisively. And so we have Judgment and the King of Charisma, which corresponds with the King of Pentacles. This is the Dungeons and Dragons deck, however, so the Charisma stat, if that has a special meaning to you, keep that in mind. And we also have a quote card. This is the image on the back of it. And the quote itself says, We all see the world by some kind of light personal to us, and that light changes our perception. I don't see clearly. I want to, but I don't know if I ever can. And this is from Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson. We also have 2 bird cards for you. Again, 2 cards popped out, so we're going to take them both. And we have New Cycles of Opportunities with Dove, and Penguin with Trust in Your Dreams. Very cute. And we also have an Angel Answers card to enhance the message, and this says success! Exclamation point. So let's see, I don't think you can see that, so we're gonna have to rearrange a little bit. I guess I'll put this over here. Yeah. And let's read the lyrics on Meant to Live as well. So we have, we were meant to live for so much more, have we lost ourselves? Somewhere we live inside, somewhere we live inside. I want to read it again for some reason. We were meant to live for so much more, have we lost ourselves? Somewhere we live inside, somewhere we live inside. Okay, so right off the bat, some of you might be feeling a little lost or discouraged, and you may be having some trouble trusting your own judgment. And you may be yearning for something more, but there might just be some doubts at this time that could be getting in your way and could be discouraging you from taking certain steps to make your dreams come true. Now, I also want to read the one-line descriptions for each of the cards in the D&D deck. As you know, if you've watched my videos before, they're always succinct and lovely messages that I think are often just really helpful in their simplicity. So the Judgment card says, our capability to discern what is truly important and to use it to weed the garden of our life. And the King of Charisma card says, where are you, buddy? Reaping the fruits of your endeavors, enjoying abundance while not getting lost in the acquiring. Okay, yeah, so there's something definitely here about trusting your judgment and maybe having some doubts about trusting in your judgment, especially when it comes to certain dreams of yours and certain abundance that you might have gained or you might be in the process of gaining or looking to bring into your life. And the encouragement here is definitely, it feels like you're being encouraged to really work on your discernment, but also trusting your discernment. Because with Dove, New Cycles of Opportunities, if you haven't already been presented with new opportunities in whatever realms that you're looking to improve your life in, or maybe like business opportunities or relationship opportunities, whatever area of your life you've been receiving opportunities in. It's discerning whether you are hesitant about an opportunity based on feelings of imposter syndrome and feelings of not being worthy of something versus actually being hesitant about something because it's not really for you, right? Because there is a difference, and there's a lot of ways that we can discourage ourselves from enthusiastically looking into certain opportunities or considering opportunities that are just out of our own lack of self-worth or lack of trust in ourselves to make good decisions. And because this is a motivational message, you are being encouraged to trust yourself more deeply, because I feel like for a lot of you, you actually can trust yourself. You're actually quite tapped into your intuition and into what's truly good for you, what's truly meant for you. But you might have still some programming around feeling like you're not trustworthy. And this could come from decisions that you've made in the past, or maybe you feel like you're prone to making mistakes, or you've made decisions in the past that a lot of people have questioned, and not necessarily always from a place of knowing what's best for you, but from their own assumptions and presumptions and world perspective that's not meant to be your own. Because this quote right here, we all see the world by some kind of light personal to us, and that light changes our perception. I don't see clearly. I want to, but I don't know if I ever can. That's a reminder that not only do we have our own perceptions that cloud us from being able to see clearly at times, but other people do as well. And there might have been and might be at times other perspectives that can sort of get in your way if you give too much weight to them. Because people outside ourselves can be useful for offering nuggets of wisdom, knowledge, and advice to us, but ultimately it is our own discernment, our own intuition that tells us whether or not those pieces of advice are relevant to us in a given moment. So that's one of the reasons I always emphasize very strongly that we must listen to our intuition when we're listening to tarot readings. And so I always say, please listen to your own intuition. It's because, and I actually felt the urge to just say, it's not just because I'm like, oh, I don't want to take responsibility for any ideas you get from my readings. Like, it's because that's how life works, right? We might be taught from a young age to listen to authority and almost trust people outside of ourselves more than we trust ourselves. And yeah, to an extent, as like a young child, for example, we're curious. We don't always sense danger in the way that we might as we're older. In terms of like, oh, well, if we are curious about the light socket and we want to play with it, someone else needs to come in and tell us, hey, no, don't touch that, don't play with that, because there are very real consequences to getting shocked by a light socket or electricity socket. But at the same time, we have our intuition built in, and we develop our own processes of discernment as we grow, and we can sometimes be too programmed to search for guidance, and we give too much weight to guidance outside of ourselves when our intuition is really telling us, no, that piece of guidance is not applicable to me in this moment. No, that person's experience is not actually reflective of my own experience, and therefore their perspective is not something that should be coloring my experience right now, my decision making right now. And so that's where developing discernment is extremely important. And I do feel like you do have access to your intuition, and you do have a finely honed sense of discernment, but you still question it from time to time, and you might be doing so right now. And now, if you don't feel like you have a strongly honed sense of discernment, if you actually don't feel confident in that, then that may be the case for you if that's what your intuition is telling you. But it's also an encouragement then to focus on that, to hone your own confidence in your decision-making process, to get more in tune with your decision-making process and figure out why decision-making might be something that's difficult for you, why you might find yourself hesitating on decisions, especially around things that could be potentially exciting new opportunities for you. Is it about self-worth? Is it because there's someone in your life who disapproves and you hold their opinion very highly and you feel that maybe they're right and you're wrong and you can't trust yourself? But dig into that, question that, and find out if that's truly the case. For others of you, this is really just a motivation to get moving, to make a decision, and to approach decisions in your life with a lighter heart, because you've really done a lot of foundational work on yourself and on your situation where you do know what is really truly meant for you and what is not. And you also have the tools to move through decisions that might not turn out immediately like you want them to. You're really moving into a place of power where you can navigate your physical realm such that if things come up that are unexpected, you do have the skills and the tools, both in your physical realm and emotionally and mentally and spiritually, to meet those challenges, to make the most of the opportunities that you take, and know that everything will work out one way or another, whether you can see the outcome that you want or not. And so this is a reminder that you are very strong, you are very patient, I feel, you're very hardworking, and that's in whatever way applies to you. And some of you might feel like your hardworking tendencies aren't as obvious to others, if your work that you've been doing has really been internal, you're being asked to not discount that and to know that that will serve you as you continue in your work. And I say work because charisma is like is pentacles in this deck, and so King of Pentacles, that's someone who's very in control of their material realm, very abundant and work focused, almost usually grounded in the physical realm in a certain kind of way. Yes, and you are being encouraged to trust the skills that you've already developed, the foundation that you've already built for yourself, and move forward with this King of Pentacles energy, like really feeling like you're the ruler of your own physical realm. You are the one with control over your physical realm, not in a way that's toxic or out of fear, but in a way that's out of confidence, out of stability that you've worked hard to develop for yourself, whether that stability is internal or external or both. And if you feel like there's an imbalance in your life where you feel more like you have got like a certain amount of internal stability and you're working to build more stability externally, then this is trusting that the internal foundation that you've built for yourself is strong enough to weather the new opportunities that you will need to take in order to build your external physical stability. But vice versa, if you are feeling like you've got a lot of stability, or at least you seem to have a lot of stability in the physical realm, but you're feeling like maybe some internal instability, emotional instability, things like that, know that you have your foundations of like hard work and success and the achievements that you've accomplished out there in the world can also, that kind of confidence can be applied to your work that you're doing within yourself as well. So you can bring that internal state into balance. And also, if you have the resources, use them. So if there are practices, tools, programs, things that can help you in your goals, that you have the money to spend on, that you have the money to actually, the funds or the resources to actually bring into your life, use that. And know that for some of you, you might be like debating like what's the best option, like what really, where should I spend my resources, what's worthwhile for me. Again, trust yourself. Know that you can trust yourself. But also, if there's anything that you move towards that doesn't turn out how you want it to, or you do realize that you made a decision that didn't pan out, or that you trusted someone that you realized that you maybe shouldn't have trusted in a certain way, realize that that's an opportunity. That's a learning opportunity to notice, okay, well, were there any signals that I wasn't listening to? Was there any way I could have handled this differently? What does this tell me moving forward? And also to let yourself off the hook and say, sometimes things just don't work out in the way that we expect them to, but there might be something else in that experience that you don't even see yet that will lead you to a conclusion that you weren't even aware existed until you had this experience, right? So it's trust in yourself, but it's also trust in life, trust in the universe, and perhaps developing a stronger spiritual connection with the world around you that will help increase your trust. Because the more that you open up to the idea of, like, for example, synchronicities, asking angels or guides or ancestors for signs, talking to the universe in your head or out loud, having your own practice of divination and honing that and opening up to the possibilities of life, the more that you practice and work that muscle, the more you will develop that kind of trust, that kind of relationship where you could feel more confident in the messages and the signs that you're getting back. But then eventually you also won't need so many signs. You'll move through the world more confidently knowing that you are supported, but also that you have built that support for yourself. Because I feel like a lot of you already have. Whether you know it or not, you're very stable within yourself. And there might just be you have good judgment, but there might be some judgments that for some of you are still getting in your way, and those might be coming from outside of you, from perspectives that simply are different than yours, but might not be able to inform your decisions because those perspectives are so different. Doesn't mean that they're wrong, doesn't mean that they're invalid, but it just might mean they're not applicable to you. And so trust that, trust your intuition, trust that you're on the right path. you've garnered quite a bit of success, but I also feel that if there's something that you're working on right now, success is assured for you. It might not happen in exactly the path that you expected to happen in, and it might not happen in the exact way that you expected to happen in, but you're already successful in something, in some way in your life, and you are also destined to continue to be successful. And it's just a matter of, again, focusing on your discernment, honing that, but also trusting yourself and trusting that if you've been working on your discernment, if you've been working on your intuition, if you've been letting go of the perceptions and judgments of others, that is working for you. You are really making moves in terms of your own, claiming your own sovereignty. And that word is really especially coming through with the King of Charisma right there, sovereignty. You are really on that road to claiming your own sovereignty, to being the king of your physical realm as well as your internal mental realm, and making decisions that are truly from your own heart, not from the judgments of others. And the more that you take a step back anytime you're feeling hesitation or questioning yourself, and just ask or wonder or just allow yourself to have those thoughts, and allow yourself to recognize where the hesitation, where the questioning is coming from, if it's coming from outside of you or coming from something more intuitive within you, the more that you set the intention to do that each and every day, and whenever you make any decisions, the less you will question yourself, the more in touch you'll get with yourself, and the more you'll know what's truly coming from you and what's coming from outside of you that you can just simply let go. And now I want to read just the success thingy in the angel booklet, and also the bird booklet. By the way, penguins and doves, if those are significant birds for you, either of those, and they have certain meanings for you, of course, take that. And of course, the songs and the quotes as well. Like anything here, another part of trusting your judgment and discernment and your perspective is that if there are any messages that you get from these cards that I don't specifically bring up, you can trust that as well. And take that as your sign and really tune into what that means to you. Because this is really about trusting your own judgment and motivating you to consciously work on trusting your own judgment if you feel like that's something that you still struggle to do, while also affirming that anyone who has been working on that, or anyone who just needs some encouragement right now to trust your own judgment and to make decisions for yourself, that you can do that, you are fully capable of that, and you're already tapped in to your power. And you're being motivated to make, and if there are any decisions that you've been hesitating on, you're really being encouraged to step into your power and make a decision and move forward confidently. But take the time to intentionally move into that space of confidence first. Or if you feel like you're still hesitant or afraid, but you also feel like making a decision will move the situation forward, sometimes it's better to make the decision than to just hesitate forever, right? So use your own discernment. Once again, trust yourself and trust yourself to navigate the situation no matter how it turns out. But if there are moves that you really feel like it's time to just make a move, really time to just go for it, you may be being asked to just go for it and see what happens. Now, dove. Let's find dove in this booklet and read it. Okay, we found penguin. But yeah, trust in your dreams and new cycles of opportunities. Like, I think the universe wants to, and maybe has been presenting you with opportunities that will help you realize your dreams, whether realizing your dreams by making the dreams that you have come true, or even realize new dreams that you might not have known you had. And the universe wants to continue offering you these opportunities. So it wants you to trust your judgment and to really trust your discernment so that you can take the opportunities that are meant for you when they're presented. So yeah, new cycles of opportunities. The dove song is its most distinctive characteristic. Heard throughout the day, the song becomes more distinct at the tween times of dawn and dusk. These are times in which there's a thinning of the veil between the spiritual and the physical, the past and the future. They are magical times and places where everything becomes possible. It is a reminder of the cycle of life. As one ends, the other begins. When the dove sings, we can expect life to move forward from the difficult cycle into one of greater rest and peace of mind. Yeah, a lot of this has to do with your own perspective, judgment, and peace of mind is a big part of that, I think. Having peace of mind allows you to feel clearer when making decisions. Appearance of dove heralds a time of new cycles and new opportunities opening for you. This is the time to take advantage of as many of them as possible. Yeah, so for some of you, it's just like, yeah, make the moves, take advantage of opportunities that come towards you, trust your discernment, trust your judgment, and just go for it. Expect renewed harmony and peace of mind. Any unpleasantness or frustration we have been experiencing will pass very soon. Brighter things are already on their way. A new cycle is being born, opening new worlds and new possibilities. You will be able to mourn and release what has passed and will awaken to the promise of a new future. The dove is a bird of prophecy, and you will soon see that you can birth what you can birth within your own life. Lovely. Beautiful. Yeah, so there's a lot of, yeah, this is a motivation to take advantage of opportunities coming to you. Like, really decisively go for things that are presented to you that are aligned with you and your dreams. And penguin, trust in your dreams. The penguin is a bird that does not fly. Its wings, though, serve a purpose when it is in the water. The wings serve as fins, and penguin's movement in the water is as smooth and fluid as other birds in flight. Yes, that brings to mind, remember, other people's perspectives, while they might be valid for them, are not always valid for you, and you don't always have to take them into account or let them stop you from making your own decisions, because someone, if a bird whose wings are for flying was giving penguin advice about how to use their wings, and they were like, okay, well, you just flap them like this, and then you soar through the sky, and, you move your feathers like this, and your tail feathers like that, most of that advice isn't going to apply to penguin, because penguin doesn't use its wings to fly. It's not meant to fly like that. Penguin's meant to swim, And so penguin can be like, cool, that's great. That's really cool that that's your experience. But for me, I'm a swimming bird, and this is how I use my wings, right? And penguin might have to, figure that out for themselves, or find other penguins who have similar situations and find instruction from them. And that takes the discernment of knowing, okay, oh, you're a penguin, you have a similar experience, so you might have advice that's more relevant to me. And, also finding penguin's own way to swim as well, but innovating, finding new ways of doing things that might be new to even other penguins, That's what this is all about, is really trusting your own judgment and acknowledging and knowing that not everything you see out there in the world is going to apply to you. But you always have the power to take something in and be like, yes, or be like, no, and move on. The watery environment, this watery environment is an archetypical symbol of the feminine, a part of which is the dream dimension. There's a typo. Penguin's appearance now heralds a time in which your dreams will become empowered. Now is the time to act on them. Penguins can jump 5 to 6 feet out of the waters and land on their feet. Now is the time to take the leap to pursue your dreams. Now is the time to make your dream a reality. Your night dreams right now are increasingly lucid and colorful. They are also prophetic, providing guidance to you on how to handle situations in your everyday life. Use the dream time to solve problems and to show you the best way to pursue your goals. Trust in your creativity. Trust in your imagination. Trust in your dreams. You have been asking for the opportunity. Opportunity. You've been asking for the opportunity, and it has arrived. Now is the time to act. Yes. So there might be opportunities you've been asking for a long time, and your hesitation on acting on them is that you might not have expected them to actually come to you, or it might have taken a while for the opportunities that you're seeking to actually come to you, or for you to become aware of them or confident enough to even take the step. And now you have that confidence. Now you are ready to take those steps. You have built your foundation. You can trust yourself. And your path is your own. So doubters, haters, perspectives that are different than yours that might serve someone else but not you, none of that needs to get in your way. You are on the road to success in your own dreams and in your own way. And you are being motivated now to take those steps, to take those opportunities, and to make your dreams come true. Knowing that anytime that you've had a dream in the past that's come true, use that as motivation to back up your current dreams now. And if you don't feel like you have before, well, work on that. Work on building that confidence. Work on seeing the ways that you've been successful in your life before, and invite that feeling of success to be part of your life. so that it can be part of your future. So let's read the angel card for success. Success. Where are you at in this deck, in this booklet? Are you? Yeah, it's in alphabetical order. Okay, success! Exclamation point. Congratulations, you are on the road to success. You needn't have any reservations about your situation. It's going to work out beautifully. Part of living a successful life is taking care of yourself. It's wonderful to have many things to be grateful for, but make sure you don't wear yourself down by working too hard. Take time to enjoy peace in your life. Yeah, and take that as well. If you have been working hard for a while, and even if there's plenty of opportunities for you to take your opportunities. Don't slow down if you're on a roll, but pay attention to your body, pay attention to your physical self, and know that if you just take a break, you take some time out for yourself, and do focus on your own well-being, especially if you are really like one of those workaholics or like someone who's like nose to the grindstone all the time. If that's you, then taking a step back for a day won't mess you up. And in fact, that will actually help you get where you want to go faster. But for those of you who are still working on actually taking the leap, this is the motivation to go for it. Success is assured. You are successful and you will be successful, and your dreams have so much potential and you are already making them happen. So keep going, take the opportunities that you are being offered and make the most of them. You're amazing. Awesome. So that was a great reading. I do hope this resonated for you. I hope you found it helpful. Please, if you feel called to, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Let me know what you thought about this in the comments. And also, if you are interested in any personal tarot readings, our offerings are in the description. You can click on the website link, sunflowerphilosophy.com. We have readings offered, and we also have hypnosis and human design services offered on our website. So you can check that out. And I hope you have a wonderful life, and I will see you in another reading again sometime very soon. Bye! Hi Group 2, if you selected the song Come Clean by Hilary Duff, then this is your motivational message from Spirit, and let me just adjust that, okay. Here are your cards. I've already pre-selected them, so we're going to lay them out, and then we're going to get into your motivational message for today. So let's get started. So first, here's your tarot card, which is the King of Wisdom, which also is associated with King of Cups. We also have this quote card, and this quote card, well, that's funny. It's just blue, and there's no quote on the back of it. This is one that I actually didn't fill a quote in for, but that feels significant. So I can go grab a quote card for you guys later in the reading, if so you don't feel left out. But I'm gonna take that because the color blue, and plus with the King of Cups, I got like I did get like a blue flash of blue in my mind, even though there's not a lot of blue on this card. The King of Cups typically is wearing blue. He's associated with the element of water, and come clean with the rain. We'll read the lyrics, but the theme of rain and coming clean with water, cleansing, that's a really significant theme for this group. So that feels, something about water, something about the color blue. Also, blue is associated with the throat chakra and communication as well. Those might be significant. But let's look at your other cards as well. We have a bird card for you, and this is Hummingbird. Dreams and new joy are within reach. Exciting. And we also have this angel card as well, and this says unlikely. So we'll get into it and we'll talk about what that might mean. But first things first, this is a motivational message. So whatever this unlikely is about, the first thing I'm getting is that I feel like you might have some doubts about yourself, about your dreams, maybe about, even with the King of Cups here, like an emotional beginning or your own abilities or your own emotional stability. Or you might also have some fears about certain outcomes in your life or certain expectations for your life that are negative or projecting the worst case scenario into your future. And that is to me, if that's the case, that's what this unlikely card is about. It's unlikely that these worst case scenarios are going to happen. But before we get even further into that, let's read the lyrics for Come Clean. And they say, let the rain fall down and wake my dreams. Let it wash away my sanity. Because I want to feel the thunder. I want to scream. Let the rain fall down. I'm coming clean. Yeah, so this is about awakening dreams. This is about, okay, and because it's the King of Wisdom, King of Cups, and the emotional realms as well, that can also deal with the subconscious. So there could be some significance in your dreams as well that's being brought to your attention. Like you might be having more vivid dreams or dreams that seem to be significant in some way, trying to tell you something. Anyone who's been having dreams lately where they have like a strong emotional reaction in the dream where you can feel the emotion actually happening in your body, and that's not something that's normal for you, or even if it is, that is something to pay attention to, because that could be unprocessed emotions that are coming to the surface to be processed at this time, and that might help you in awakening your dreams and awakening to your like dreams and goals and joys that you want to bring into your waking life. So pay attention to that. And yeah, there's definitely something about like doubts and like maybe even trauma for some of you, because trauma can be an embedded, lingering emotional response to past pain, past situations in your life. And sometimes it's obvious what it's related to, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's little things that have built up over time, or things that were really significant to you as a small child you might not even remember, but to you as an adult might seem insignificant, that still had a significant emotional impact on you, that might just be lingering in your nervous system, lingering in your body. And so, like I said, if there's like things that are happening in your dreams that might relate to that, it could be those things coming to the surface to be processed that will help you move. Once you move through that, it will help you access new levels of joy and even new dreams for yourself, and awaken you to new possibilities for your future that are very exciting. Let's also read read from this little booklet for the King of Wisdom, because I do love the simple phrasing of this booklet. Just keeps things very straightforward in a way that I enjoy. And it says, King of Wisdom, fully accepting this moment, allowing complaints to dissolve, being kind to yourself. Yes, so we are being motivated in this group to be kind to ourselves, to come clean. Come clean also could be, a motivation for you to come clean with yourself about certain things. Could also be if there's a situation in your life where you need to come clean about something, where admitting something or having an honest conversation is important that maybe you've been avoiding or you just haven't gotten to yet. You're being motivated to get to that, to do that, to come clean with yourself, to come clean with others, and resolve any lingering, open emotional wounds that might still be impacting your ability to experience more fulfillment in life and experience joy and to really awaken to your dreams. And I think a lot of you, if that's the case, you will know, like there will be something at the forefront of your mind or something that you become aware of that as we're speaking, that is obvious to you, that you know that maybe you still need to work on. And this is your motivation to keep going and also to get started if you feel like you haven't even really started working on this yet, right? But if this applies to you, you're going to know kind of what this is about. Because I do feel like for a lot of you, this hummingbird card says, new dreams and new joy are within reach. And if there are dreams and joys that you want to experience that you've been having trouble really tapping into, and you know that there's something blocking you that you need to address and you need to actually talk about or do something about or take action on to resolve within yourself, especially emotionally, especially related to potentially trauma, whether it's like a big T trauma or a little t trauma, however you want to conceptualize that. It's like addressing that, the sooner that you do, the sooner you will move into a state of possibility, a state of joy beyond those experiences that are now in the past that you can resolve and move forward from. And yeah, I do feel like for some of you, any lingering emotional wounds or traumatic wounds that you might be experiencing lingering effects from might cause you sometimes to spiral, to project into the future things that you think might happen based on those fears, those old patterns, those things that might have happened to you in the past that Spirit wants you to know are unlikely to happen, that those are not the truth of what's actually going on in your life, and you don't need to base your decisions around them. But I also, with this group, understand that, and I want to make this clear, obviously in those moments when we're spiraling, or in those moments when emotion really seems to take control, it's not easy always to remember who we are and to tap back into our, the side of us that can rise above things and leave things behind. Because often it's just that our physical body needs some time and attention to an acknowledgement of any lingering emotional wounds that haven't been addressed, or this just haven't been fully resolved. And there's no shame in that. And this motivation is here not to shame you for not being over something, quote unquote, or to make you feel like you're falling behind or that you're not doing enough to heal yourself. It's not about that, because I do feel like that might be some insecurity that's coming up for some people here around this motivational message, but it's rather motivation to say, hey, this is working. Whatever you're going through, whatever you've gone through, you are processing it. It is coming to the surface, and it's reminding you that your body and your mind know how to heal themselves. Sometimes they just need a little support in the process, and sometimes the healing process itself can be uncomfortable, and that's where finding different modalities of support can really help us. Like, whatever pathways that resonate with you to get emotional support are valid and important. It's important for you to feel confident enough to come forward and say, hey, I could use a little help with this. Let me go to a professional, let me go to an energy healer, let me try this new modality. And to also be gentle with yourself and to give yourself the respect of looking into the things that are going on with your body, using your own discernment, but also looking into, okay, how does my nervous system function? If that's something that you aren't aware of, you haven't learned about, or learning about trauma and how that impacts the body, learning more about why certain modalities might work for certain people, and also why certain modalities might not work for certain people. If you're noticing that maybe some things are just not working for you, but there might be something else that might be a better fit, right? And so it's just a motivation to say, keep going, and to really encourage you to get more serious about this if it is something that feels right for you. Where, by getting more serious about it, I mean, like, taking more concrete steps towards resolving certain things that have been following you for a long time, that have been lingering in your psyche, lingering in your body. Taking those concrete steps to support your body and your mind in the healing process, because they're already working to heal. They want to heal, and they know how to do that. And no matter how long it takes, they're going through that process. So it's not saying, oh, like, let's get healed and move on. You're not going fast enough. It's saying, this is a process that's ongoing, and if you feel like you can maybe support that in more ways by changing certain aspects of your day-to-day habits, introducing more habits that support your healing journey, acknowledging that you're actually on a healing journey, and that it is fine no matter how long that takes to acknowledge that and to behave as if you are healing, because sometimes that's the most helpful thing we can do, is to say, oh, like, things have been difficult for my body because I've been healing from something that has been traumatic. No matter how long that's been taking, no matter whether I want to validate the experience I had or not as like trauma, the fact of the matter is there's something that I'm processing, and I need to allow that to happen, and I need to respect my body and my mind, my emotional systems as they go through that process. And what are ways that I can do that every day that just give me that much more support, right? And so that's where your motivation is coming in. It's like motivating you to take that journey seriously, or at least give yourself a bit more support and respect in that area if you feel like that's something that you haven't been doing or that you could do more of, but not in a way where it's extra, not in a way where you need to feel shame about anything or feel like you're not moving through something fast enough. It's not that at all. It's just recognizing that there might be more support available to you that will help make the process smoother. It could help it go faster for some people, but the ultimate goal is to help you tap into more of your joy and to live your dreams now, in the present, no matter what you've been through, right? No matter what you've been through or what you're going through. There's always joy here for you, and no matter what you've been through and what you're going through, you have the right to experience joy and to realize your dreams and to have dreams of your own. And to move forward into a joyful future, even with the ongoing process of moving through certain things that might be uncomfortable or even painful at times, right? It's like you have that right as well, no matter what you've been through, no matter who you are. And those of you who need to hear that right now, you are being motivated to really take yourself seriously, but also take yourself less seriously in the sense of like opening up to joy and stuff. Also sometimes requires taking things less seriously and having fun and opening up to your inner child, right? And like enjoying yourself. But at the same time, like it's like the balance of like taking yourself seriously enough to take the actual steps you need to take to help yourself access more joy and to live your dreams. And then also not taking yourself so seriously that you don't have any fun in the process, right? It's finding that balance. And I do feel like there's like a new beginning blossoming for you. And so your motivation is to keep moving in the direction of that new beginning, keep believing in it, and find ways to take steps every day, big or small, that you feel are supportive and nurturing and kind to your body, your emotional body, and to the kinds of life that you truly want to live and step into, because you're really like, there's something that's being washed away for you right now. Some old patterns, old hurts, old things that are being washed away for you right now. And through that process, you are coming into a new phase, and it's just allowing that process to keep happening and knowing that any fears or old things or old ways of being or thinking that might sneak up on you from time to time and tell you certain things about who you are and who you're meant to be and what might happen in your future that isn't aligned with you, those are not the truth. And that moving through those times with a little extra attention and care and kindness can help soften those moments when we're feeling really down and when things from our past might be getting on our back a little bit, right? And it can be a gentle, easy process and a kind process and a nurturing process. But, we have to take the steps and we have to actually be willing to soften into self-kindness in those moments. And it's a pattern that you have to build over time, and there's support that you can gain, you can ask for in your life to help that process become smoother. But it's also, allowing the process to unfold and not holding yourself to any harsh deadlines or berating yourself for potentially not being as over something or past something as you want to be. Because, we all have those moments, those days, no matter what we've been through or who we are, where certain things just feel a little bit more difficult. And then we have days that feel easier, and you're not defined by any of those things, to be honest. But you certainly don't have to define yourself by your worst days. But you can still accept them, and move with them. And I want to read from the Feathered Omens, the bird booklet, and also I'll read for the unlikely card, even though I feel like the meaning of the unlikely card in this case is about projecting any fears or old traumas that are being projected into your present and future, being unlikely to come true, reminding you that any negative things, there's even kind of a jokey vibe I'm getting where like any negative perceptions you have about yourself, like, oh, I'm the worst person in the world, I'm, this, I'm that, oh, I'm so stupid, I'm this, I'm that, like any things that come to mind, Spirit's almost like being like, that's unlikely. but in a way where they actually mean like that's not true at all, but they're being a little cheeky about it. So that's another nod to the idea of both taking certain things in your life and about your situation and about your experiences more seriously and taking action on them and actually treating them as things that are worthy of your time and attention and care, while also not taking life so seriously that you're not having fun and not able to laugh at yourself in times when that might be the best medicine, right? And being able to tell the difference. But yeah, you're being motivated to really take care of yourself right now. Like TLDR, take care of yourself. I will read to see if there's any messages. If there was something like a specific question that you had or something that you've been wondering about that you don't want to happen or that's like bugging you, maybe this booklet will have unlikely. Where are you? Where are you in this booklet? There you are. Okay. So yeah, the situation you have asked about is unlikely to occur as you are imagining it. There may be a different version of events that will take place, or it may be what you've asked about is simply not in your highest, greatest good. Plan your focus on an alternative possibility. Open your eyes to different opportunities. Be willing to experience a unique and more uplifting outcome than what you had planned for yourself. Yeah, exactly. So sometimes I don't always know if these booklets are going to err on like the side of sort of negative, especially when that's not the vibe I'm feeling for a reading. Because if there's a vibe where I'm like, this is being shut down, I would say it. I know what that feels like. But in this case, especially since we didn't ask about a specific situation, unless you had something in mind, I was like really feeling like this is whatever is unlikely in a good way, in a positive way for you. So yeah, take this perspective and apply that to anything that you've especially been focused on, catastrophizing about, feeling really down about, anything that you've been feeling like might have, anytime you feel like something might just, the outcome might be dire or hopeless, remember how that's not the truth. That's a perspective, and that's usually a perspective of a nervous system that's spiraling, that's stuck in a loop, that is just needing a little extra time, attention, and care. And in those moments, if you can take a moment to step back and recognize that, you'll slowly build the momentum to move through those moments as gracefully as you possibly can and as smoothly as you possibly can without getting stuck there. And it's a process, and it's not something that you need to push or force or rush. But with that, let's look at Hummingbird and the dreams and new joy that are within reach for you. Hummingbird. Okay. Because I do feel like for a lot of you, like this is really something that has been an ongoing process, or is like a phase that you're like washing clean of certain things now that once you are through it will not come back, but also knowing that you don't have to rush or be through something or be completely unfazed by something or be completely over something to experience joy and success in your current life, like as you are exactly right now. Yeah. Okay, so Hummingbird. So this says, although one of the smallest species of birds, the hummingbird is also one of the most amazing. It awakens a sense of wonder in everyone who encounters them. Hummingbird's appearance signals a time of new nectar within your life. New joy is manifesting around you, and your dreams are closer to being fulfilled. You are entering a period of accomplishment. No other bird can fly backwards, and this reflects the reawakening of the past and the drawing of new nectars from it. Past dreams and opportunities to manifest them are resurfacing. Take advantage of them all for the next few months. Yeah, and that really, I feel like that really goes with like Come Clean by Hilary Duff, because the idea of also like going back to the beginning, restarting. The song starts with like, let's go back to the beginning, back to when the earth, the sun, the stars all aligned. So it could also be like, if a time in your life that you recall where everything was aligned and everything felt new and felt renewed is returning to you, it's within reach, and you can bring that into your present, that's something that is accessible to you now, and you're being motivated to continue working through whatever you're working through and allow that new renewed energy to re-enter into your life. And it also could be like on a more esoteric, universal, spiritual, philosophical level, like the newness of when you're like a baby, or the newness of like when you're just like a soul experiencing wonder in a non-physical form, right? Returning to that experience and having being able to rise above the human in your day-to-day life. Which, again, like, if it's applicable to you, like, it's something that you are open to inviting in, and something that you're excited about, and something that interests you, right? But yeah, like, that's also why, like, if you've been having dreams and things that are resurfacing, even if they aren't pleasant all the time, like I said, those things are resurfacing, I feel like, for a lot of you to be processed, and you might just have to let that happen. Of course, if there's anything that is concerning you or really uncomfortable for you, seek professional help. There are definitely different ways that you can address things like that, and so don't be afraid to do so. I'm not a medical professional or a psychologist or therapist, so make your moves, make your decisions about those things through your own intuition and through whatever channels you trust. But regardless, I feel like new beginnings, new cycles, new emotional cycles opening for you, it's good stuff. And just because you might be experiencing what you feel is a setback, or some experiences that aren't so positive or feel kind of negative, it doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. And in fact, sometimes it's part of the process. Regardless of present circumstances or those of the recent past, Hummingbird's appearance always heralds joy and accomplishment. You will begin to see the attainment of your dreams. Opportunity is manifesting around you, and you should grab it heartily. Hummingbird signals a time of blessings and new sunshine. Come clean continues. Like, let the rain fall, but then after the rainfall, like, the sun comes out. And it's like the rainfall, crying, physically crying might be important for you right now. And if you're going through that, and if there's also heaviness that you're going through right now, like, yeah, let yourself cry. You're being motivated to cry. Ooh, that's part of your task. Let yourself cry, that helps move the energy. And it doesn't matter if you're crying about something that's happened right now, or if you're crying about something that's happened years in the past, doesn't matter what you're crying about. Just let the rain fall, right? New ventures of success and renewed health are the promise. Yeah. So that's quite lovely, quite beautiful. Just because this card didn't have a quote, I'll go grab you guys a quote real quick, but we should wrap this up, so. Okay, this one was on top and immediately caught my eye. I have like a few piles of quotes, but this feels relevant. So this is Hope with a heart in it. And this says, when you find somebody that you love, it feels like hope, from the TV show Fleabag. And yeah, so for those of you who are, anyone who maybe is experiencing like a renewal in love or hoping for a renewal in love, that's a good sign and a good message for you. It's also a general encouragement to bring yourself back to love, bring yourself back to love for yourself, love for others, love for the universe, or just a general sense of love, and that, and take actions towards yourself and others, even in moments when you're not feeling tapped into the frequency of love. Really bring yourself back to the idea of like what would be the most loving thing to do or say, or how would the most loving way to behave be in this moment, and let that be your North Star, but from a place of gentleness. And there might be also someone in your life as well, with this King of Cups being a card here, who is someone that you love, and maybe a renewal that you're looking for is in that relationship, or in a new relationship that you're starting, or a new cycle in a relationship, and processing some of the things that you've been processing is helping bring you closer with that person or bring you closer to that relationship. So take that as it resonates, but also in general, it's just, yeah, a lovely message. When you find somebody that you love, it feels like hope. So any moments of hope that you can give yourself when you're feeling hopeless, take those and open up to open up to a more hopeful perspective as well. So I hope that was helpful for you. I hope that resonated. And please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought down in the comments. Hit the notification bell if you want to know when a new reading comes out. And also, if you are interested in personal tarot readings, we offer services. In the description, I put the link to our website, sunflowerphilosophy.com. You can see our services there and on our website. And also we offer hypnosis and human design services as well. We are certified consulting hypnotists. So I hope you have a wonderful life, and I will see you in another reading again sometime very soon. Bye! Hi, Group 3. If you selected Boys Will Be Bugs by Cavetown, then this is your motivational reading, and I already pre-selected the cards, as I mentioned, so we're going to get right into it. So first, I have your tarot card, which is the Nine of Intelligence reversed, and this also could be, this is also the Nine of Swords in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck. And we also have this quote, represented by this image. And the quote says, "I reckon every new idea was modern once, until it wasn't," from Anne with an E, the TV show. Also possibly from the book it's based on, Anne of Green Gables, because a lot of the lines are quotes from that book, but I haven't read it. So we also have the bird card that we got for you, which is hunting, pursue what you need. And we have this angel answers card as well, which says, let go. Ooh, it's a little dusty. Okay. So, let's read the lyrics for Boys Will Be Bugs first, shall we? So, also ladybugs might be significant for you. Take that as it resonates. Also, the lyrics are, "I'm a dumb teen boy. I eat sticks and rocks and mud. I don't care about the government and I really need a hug. I feel stupid, ugly, pretend it doesn't bother me. I'm not very strong, but I'll F you up if you're mean to bugs." Which, okay, this is a motivational message, so we'll get into it, but I immediately just get such a like, aw feeling when I hear those lyrics, read those lyrics. This was a song, I believe, that at the time the artist wrote it. They were like a teenager, maybe even like 14 or so. So they're really capturing the experience, that teenage experience. But one thing that's important for us all to remember is that no matter what age we are, we all have all of our past ages within our experience, right? So that, teenager it still exists within us somewhere, right? And so some of you, this motivational message might be related to a teenage or younger aspect of you that might be being aggravated or being insecurities even from that time that might be coming up. That part of you might be significant right now, that time of your life, whether it's your teenage years specifically, just like in the song, or if it's your, child years or your just some younger phase of your life where you maybe struggled with certain insecurities, feeling different, maybe feeling stupid or ugly, maybe feeling a little defensive even. That could be an important part of your life, time of your life that's being highlighted for you, because there might be some things that you're experiencing now or some things that were insecurities for you then that are resurfacing or have never really fully been processed and might still be part of your experience to an extent. And so we'll talk about it, but let's read also the little note for the Nine of Intelligence card, which I'm noting it came out in reverse. These cards don't necessarily need to be read in reverse because they don't have like a reverse meaning in the booklet. And I took it as that because sometimes the Nine of Swords, I don't know if I said Nine of Pentacles, but it's Nine of Swords, Nine of Intelligence. Sometimes that reverse to me is specifically the message of don't worry, because it can be a card of worrying. So that might be important for some of you right now. But I do feel like the motivational message we're getting is definitely centered around motivating you to look at any insecurities that you might have lingering from the past and motivating you to work through them, motivating you to acknowledge them, motivating you to be aware of that part of yourself resurfacing, or that part of yourself that might still be operating from some of those old perspectives or old insecurities that were likely created within you from a younger age. And the 9 of Intelligence in this booklet says, looking at how thoughts can create turmoil and finding a way to observe them from a dispassionate place of stillness. But with this in reverse, first of all, yes, I do feel like for a lot of you, you're being motivated to really look at your thoughts, really look at your anything, especially around insecurities, especially from the past, especially from your youth, that are surfacing or coming up or being exacerbated now by either something specific in your life or in the world in general, or even for reasons you're not even sure about. And being aware of them, and yes, like working to observe those thoughts from a dispassionate place of stillness so that you can notice them and also start to undo some of the parts of you that might still be caught up in believing them. Because there might be some insecurities, especially if you do have any insecurities that come up around how you look, around your intelligence, around anything in your life. These insecurities are things that aren't necessarily inherently true, and there might even be a part of you that's just like, yeah, obviously, but I still have this insecurity and I don't know why. It's like still a thing for me. It's like, that's fine. We all have that experience that comes up. For most of us have insecurities and things like that from time to time get exacerbated, but it's realizing that there's still a part of you that believes that at this time, that might need you to take a closer look and to acknowledge it and to allow it to resolve so that you can move on and not take those insecurities with you and not take them so seriously or not take them as truth, because some of you might have had trouble letting go of a lot of things for a long time. And it could be stemming from insecurities. It could come from things that have been said to you. These insecurities could have been instilled in you by external forces, by external people and ideas about you, about people like you. If there's one thing I know is that the artist of this song in particular, I believe is trans. And so, from that perspective, as a marginalized group in this current society, there's a lot of just external judgment, prejudice, and fear that is instilled in you about who you are from a young age. And all of us, or many of us to some extent, belong to identities or groups of people, or associate with identities and groups of people that are more marginalized in ways that we are taught that we are lesser, or that's just instilled into us. And no matter how illogical it might be from our own experience, because we might know on a logical level that we're just as valid as any other human being, the messaging from that can still have an impact on our subconscious, and it's still, especially at times when we were younger and less empowered in our lives, it might have had lasting impact that even lasts when we're older, and it can be hard to let go of, right? And that's something that is totally normal, but also doesn't need to be normalized or a normalized experience in our society. It's just that, it's not something to be ashamed of. It's something to just acknowledge, to recognize, and to say, and to not feel helpless in the face of, because this is motivational messages, right? So we are being motivated, we are being empowered to take control, take charge, and to let go of, and to address, and to acknowledge, and to work through these kinds of messages that we received about ourselves that are just simply not true. And to also recognize the responsibility that we have, no matter where our insecurities might have originated, even if it came from outside of us, which pretty much it always does. I guess I don't know for sure, but I don't think souls are inherently insecure about themselves. I feel like higher perspectives sort of preclude that. But at the same time, it doesn't matter whose fault it is. Our responsibility to ourselves is to be able to look at how those things are holding us back, limiting us, or making us still feel small or scared at times, and to hold our hands through those moments and to be able to take seriously those parts of ourselves that are still hurt by those things enough to do something about it, to acknowledge it, to sit with it, to recognize that there might still be a lot of emotions around that, or just ways of thinking that are still present around that, but then also to be able to let go, to move forward, and to pursue what it is that we want to pursue in our lives, outside of the limitations that might have been placed on us externally and internally. Because I feel like for a lot of you, whether it's because you're part of a group that's been marginalized, or because you have certain limiting beliefs about yourself, just in terms of like what you're capable of, what you can earn, what you're worthy of, what kinds of relationships you can have in your life, and what kind of future you can have. It can be very broad, and it's going to be unique to each of you, but there's this idea here that you have the capabilities to pursue what you want to pursue what you need in order to move forward and in order to step into your power. And there might just be some things that are coming into your awareness now that you're being encouraged and motivated to let go of, because letting go of those things is part of the process of bringing you to what you need. And this, I reckon every new idea was modern once until it wasn't. It's the idea that on a broader scale, of course, obviously if you are part of like a marginalized group and there have been limitations placed on you based on what people assume or society projects or tries to, keep you down in certain ways about what you're capable of and what kind of life you can lead, and not just in the terms of like even just your legal rights and what you're allowed to do, but also in terms of like what levels of happiness and belonging and justice you can achieve, right? For yourself and who you are. It's like, not only on that level are you being reminded that every new idea was modern, was considered wrong or weird or even bad or just confusing or unusual. And there were a lot of things that used to be weird in our society that have become normalized, sometimes for better, sometimes for worse. But the idea is that you might be in a space where something about you, some aspect of you that's been ostracized or not accepted. It's not because there's anything inherently wrong with you or how you were made or who you are. It's because the world has not caught up yet. And no matter how hopeless or helpless you might feel about that at times, you are who you are for a reason. You are, and you working through that and acknowledging and accepting yourself for exactly who you are and moving forward and living your best life and claiming your happiness, claiming your joy, claiming your identity, claiming your freedom to live in this world, no matter what anyone else says or no matter how anyone else tries to stop you, like your freedom to live in this world as you are, as happily as you can. That is your right. That is your, and it's within your power to move towards that by recognizing where those limiting beliefs that were instilled in you still hold you back and being able to move through the process of beginning to let go of those things on a deeper level. And this is no matter, it's not just with like, if you're part of a marginalized group, it's like any way that you've marginalized yourself, any way that you've taken on a limiting belief that's holding you back from going for it, going for what, and pursuing what you need as well, no matter if it's something that you need to survive and something you need to be happy, or pursuing what you need to make a dream come true, to give yourself the success, oh, we lost a candle, to give yourself the success that you're capable of and that you deserve, right? It's being able to let go of these things, because there might just be some baggage that's holding you back, but this is your call to let that go, get serious about the process of letting that go, and to notice where that's stopping you from making a move, moving forward, or experiencing happiness and joy and love in the way that you want to be, and taking the steps necessary to come out on the other side of that stronger and more powerful, not because that's just what you're supposed to do, but because that's what you want to do, and because that's what you're capable of, and because that's like you're right. as like a human being, you know? And also, I reckon every new idea was modern once until it wasn't. Applies to new ideas that are introduced into our own minds, right? So sometimes the part of us that might be holding on to insecurities, say about our looks, like say, let's take the example of being a teen boy, right? You might have been, as a teen boy, felt maybe like ugly or incapable or just not up to the standards of masculinity. And you might have felt like, obviously if there's anything around physical body that is really triggering for you, you can like skip over the next couple minutes. But like, everyone, a lot of different people for a lot of different reasons have body insecurities that are often founded in standards that we have that are like arbitrary for what people of certain genders or classes or whatever should look like and how they should behave and things like that. And like, so a teen boy, for example, might not feel strong enough or big enough or masculine enough. And that's because there's just some ideas about those things that are pretty narrow and don't really cover the experiences of the people existing in the world. And, a lot of structures in our society still feed on people being insecure so that they buy products and they do things and they take things that and spend money on things that will like help them achieve the looks that they're told that they should want, as opposed to appreciating and accepting what they look like and what they have now, which there's a whole other tangent to be had about like, no, it's not a problem if you want to work out or look a certain way or pursue a certain body type. It's not that that's a problem inherently in and of itself, but it's more like a culture of shaming the body, of not accepting it for how it is and expecting people to fit certain narrow windows of experience that is just like, it's not in the spirit of like, oh, let me have fun and experiment with like what my body could look like or what my fitness could be or like what I could look like out of fun and curiosity, as opposed to like out of shame and fear and sadness about who you are because other people told you that you weren't enough, right? But anyway, I digress. If you were like a teen boy and you felt like you were not the right physique and not strong enough, and even as like an adult, you might still have those feelings, no matter, what you look like or who you are, that might still cause you to say things about yourself or have attitudes about yourself or even other people that are just like based on that old perception that is maybe outdated and not serving you and holding you back from feeling worthy of things that don't even necessarily hinge on your, physical looks and things like that, or don't have to. You might still be operating from that old perspective, and this is your motivation to get serious about weeding that out from your psyche, about being able to notice those thoughts without judging them, but also without attaching them to them as truth anymore. And so this is your motivation to get real about that, because there are things that you're about to step into that might even be coming into your life that you're being encouraged to pursue. And any unworthiness you feel or any insecurities that you feel could stop you if you allow them to continue to be your truth. Just because something comes up and you feel insecure one day doesn't mean that has to hold you back. Again, with the 9 of intelligence, 9 of swords here, it's like noticing those things come up without attaching to them. It doesn't matter, if you have a negative thought in one moment, it's not becoming your reality if you just notice it and you're like, oh yeah, okay. But that's not true, or just noticing it and letting it pass and moving on to something new, right? And so you're being motivated and encouraged to do that, and to know that like there might be some bullshit in there that you might not have fully acknowledged or recognized as just untrue. Like you might have had trouble, for some of you, and this is going to be like, I'm going to crack down a little bit on your negative self-talk, but like there might be some real bullshit that you're still believing just because it's like what you were taught when you were like a kid or younger. And this is not to shame you for that, but some of you might need to hear it plainly and like bluntly, that like holding yourself, being taught that like standards of manliness, the concept of like being manly enough or tough enough, it's bullshit, okay? There's a lot of, I mean, if there's a lot of rhetoric around like specifically gender roles, because there's a discomfort with femininity that comes from like patriarchy and comes from like structures outside of our control that we've been born into that tell us that like masculinity is dominant and needs to look a certain way to continue the structures that are in place. But like it comes from a place of fear and domination, and it comes from a place of shaming people into being a certain way, fitting a certain box, and also putting down others who don't fit that box, and putting down people who are opposite from that box, and also ignoring and rejecting parts of ourselves that don't fit into that box. And like it's a form of control and domination, and like it's bullshit. And you just need to set yourself free from that right now. Like, and listen, only take that if that resonates and if that feels motivational and empowering for you, and if you just feel like you really needed to hear like that to snap you out of it. Like if you feel like you really need someone to be a little mean to get you to take this seriously and like really move into a new perspective where you're not putting yourself down based on standards that not only hurt you but also hurt the people around you and other people who don't fit those standards. Because like remember, when you're judging yourself, whatever you're judging yourself for and whatever you're saying isn't good enough about you, or if you're like all of that is also like judging other people who have the same traits as you, judging other people who don't fit those standards either. And like that's not nice. And I think that we all want to be kind to each other, especially in this group and in this community. Whoever's coming to these readings, I expect that, you know, there's a certain degree to which everyone here wants to be loving and kind. And just remember, sometimes what you say about yourself, especially if you're saying it to other people, inadvertently can hurt them if they relate to your experience. And it's just useful to be cognizant of that, especially if it helps motivate you to get more serious about the ways that you're putting yourself down and the ways that you've let this programming continue in your life. And I say it that way because it might be easier for you to take responsibility for yourself if you hear it that way. But also for those of you who are like feeling a little attacked right now, let's reel it back in. Let's reel it back in, because this is not about shaming. This is not about blaming. This is about being realistic, being logical and rational from a perspective that actually takes seriously the ways in which you've been putting yourself down, and logically and rationally assesses that that is not useful for you and that it's time to cut that out. And you are more than capable of doing so. And yeah, sometimes a little bit of harshness can be motivating. So I do hope that for those of you for whom you needed to hear something like that is motivating. Anyone who's like a little bit like put out by my tone or by some of my words, listen, you just deserve so much more than I think sometimes you think that you do. And it's not even about deserving. It's just like you're capable of so much more. And yeah, it's bullshit that you were ever taught that you're not, or you're ever taught that you are unacceptable. And it's time to take things into your own hands and to get serious about, and to get real with yourself about where these things have come from and how they're impacting your life and how they're impeding you from living the life that you want and having the inner and outer existence that you want, cutting through that bullshit and moving on, moving into your future. With the acknowledgement that I know sometimes it feels difficult. Sometimes we do feel helpless and powerless because we feel like things outside of ourselves are more powerful than us. But you are not powerless. You are powerful, but you have to claim it. You have to work to claim it if you've been systematically taught that you are not, right? And we all have been systematically taught that we are not powerful to some extent, most of us. So let's read the Bird book and the Angel Answers book as well for more information here. Let's read Let Go first, because I feel like that's step one, is like let go of these old things. Step two is like pursue what you need. It could also be pursuing what you need to help you let go of these things as well, depending on, you know, your situation and how you receive this message. But y'all, you're so much like more than you think you are sometimes. Okay, let go. The time has come to let go of this situation. Stop focusing on how or when it will be solved or even why it occurred. And I think this is like, stop maybe replaying old hurts in your head, or replaying times that you've been invalidated, or replaying events and situations that affirmed to you your powerlessness or your insecurities, right? Relationships, and it could also be like relationships and things in your current reality now that need to be let go of as well, depending. But relationships that are unhealthy or unfulfilling should be released in order to allow something better to come along. But also just in general, releasing all these old, stale thoughts and things about yourself will allow better, newer thoughts to come along and better, newer situations to come along. Don't worry, Source and your angels have everything under control. A key aspect to manifesting your desires is to ask for what you want and then release it to heaven. If you've drawn this card, you may be holding on too tightly to the way your dreams will unfold. Make a wish and then leave the rest to your angels. Yeah, and especially if we're talking about insecurities and things like that, you might have attachments to certain things unfolding for you in a certain way because you're hoping that will validate you and that will fix, quote unquote, your insecurities, or like prove someone wrong or prove something wrong. And that attachment to that outcome could specifically impede you because it's based in the energy of like proving something wrong, and it makes you hold on tightly because you think the only way that you can get that validation is from outside of yourself, which can also counteract sort of the steps that we actually need to take from a place of empowerment in order to make dreams come true. So like, be aware of that. And hunting, pursue what you need. And like, even before I get into whatever it says in the book about hunting, it feels like when someone's hunting, like when an animal is on the hunt, it's focused, it's precise, it's not got a whole, it's like it's zeroed in on its target. It's not thinking about, oh, well, like the last time I tried to, jump on that gazelle, and I fell off and I embarrassed myself and everyone else laughed at me. It's like, no, it's like, I want to eat. That's my gazelle. I'm going to go get it. And then if that doesn't work out, okay, I move on to the next one. You know what I mean? Like, it's not getting all caught up in its feels and its thoughts. And while I don't say that to invalidate the importance of your feelings and your thoughts, because shaming yourself and invalidating yourself into being a better person generally doesn't work, or being a more confident person generally doesn't work. Like, that's counterintuitive. And also, like, yeah, it's like bullshit that you've been hurt and that people have told you that you suck at times, or given you the impression that you're not worthy. Like, yeah, no, that's not right. But like, we're moving past that, right? We're not harping on that. We're not focusing on that because you have dreams to catch. You have things to pursue. You have things to do. You have gifts to give. And it's time to get laser focused on those and let all that bullshit that would stop you from pursuing that, let it go. If it's not serving you, let it go. Okay, hunting. All birds hunt to survive. Some hunt for seeds and berries, some hunt for insects, and some hunt for animal prey, including other birds. It is a part of their life and necessary to survival. Now is the time to pursue what you most need. If you have been putting off pursuing goals or dreams, now is the time to take them on once more. If you are looking to change your job or find new residence, then now is the time to begin that hunt. Birds employ many strategies to obtain food, and a bird's feeding strategy varies by species. This is a reminder that you must find your own way to pursue your goals. What works for others will not necessarily work for you because you are different and unique, and maybe someone made you feel bad for being that way, but they're wrong. They're just wrong. Only by pursuing your goals and dreams in your own way are you ensured success. Remember that there is no one doing anything that you cannot do as well, in your own unique way. Borrow what you can from others, but then adapt it in a way that works best for you. In that way, you will more likely succeed, and you will avoid the complications and traps that others have encountered in their pursuits. This is almost similar to a message that came through in Group 1, so if that resonates, you might want to check out Group 1. Might be messages there for you. But yeah, I mean, this is about getting to it, because there might have been things in your past holding you back, and it's like, no, we're breaking through that. Just because there's something about you that's new or unusual unusual or unconventional or different than you were expected to be, or different than what you expect yourself to be, or you have ideas that are different than what people expect. And there's doubts that might creep in from time to time because of that, and there might be programming or insecurities that creep in and prevent you from taking action and pursuing what you want to pursue. We're getting serious about cutting that out and keeping your eye on that prize. Keeping your eye on the prize, but also, in a way, like I said, like, if that lion doesn't catch that gazelle, is it gonna not go for is it just not gonna eat? Like, is it just going to lose all its confidence and then not try again? No. Just because that one didn't work out, just because you didn't catch that one the first time, doesn't mean you're not going to go back and try again. You got to eat. And, if you've got, like, goals that feed your soul, you've got to feed your soul. If you've got, like dreams you want to pursue, you're worthy of that. And it's worthy of you actually putting all of yourself and your time and attention and your confidence into the things that you want to pursue. No matter what anyone else has to say about it. Okay, I got passionate in that one. I hope that resonated and felt motivational for you, because I mean it sincerely from the bottom of my heart. That you are worthy and capable, and that your doubts and insecurities, and especially anyone who might foster those things or attempt to, I will metaphorically fight them. Okay, I don't play when it comes to that, and you shouldn't either. Don't entertain that shit anymore. Anyway, I hope my swearing has been encouraging for you. Apologies to anyone who might be a little sensitive to that, but I think that sometimes that's just the best way to get the message across. So, if that resonated, or if you feel called to, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought about this reading, or what you're pursuing in your life, what you're letting go of, or whatever you want to share. And if you're interested in personal readings, we do have offer personal readings on sunflowerphilosophy.com, so check that out. Also, we have hypnosis and human design services listed on our website as well. Link in the description. So thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful life. I will see you in another reading again sometime very soon. Bye! Hi, Group 4. If you selected Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen, then you are in the right place, and this is your motivational reading or motivational message from Spirit. I'm still coming down from the energy of Group 3. That was quite a bit much, in a good way. But also, we've lost some of our candles here, but I'm just on a roll, so I'm going to keep going and hope that my phone memory stays open long enough to conclude this reading, and maybe this last candle will continue to join us through to the end, but we'll see. Let's get right into it, because I've already pulled your cards here. So let's talk. Let's motivate you. Let's motivate you, Group 4. So for your tarot card, we have the 4 of Charisma, which also is the 4 of Pentacles. We have a quote here. So on the image, it says words in big letters, and then the quote itself says, "If you have big ideas, you have to use big words to express them, haven't you?" From the TV show Anne with an E. We have this bird card, which says hawk, guardianship, and vision strong. I don't know if they meant to say strong vision, or if they're just being a little artful with their phrasing there, but okay. Hawkeye, obviously, something about strong vision is clearly important here. And then we have this angel answers card, which says abundance. Okay. So there's definitely, abundance here, with the 4 of Charisma in this deck having this dragon who is reminiscent of Smaug from The Hobbit over this hoard of gold. That's significant for sure, but we'll get into that more in a minute. Let's first read the lyrics for Hallelujah. So it says, "You say I took the name in vain. I don't even know the name. But if I did, well, really, what's it to ya? There's a blaze of light in every word. It doesn't matter what you heard, the holy or the broken. Hallelujah." So that song, and the song, this is a widely known song. It's a classic, I know. If it has any specific significance to you, or resonates with you in a particular way, reminds you of specific feelings or people or places or things, take that into account. Might be part of the message for you. But also just the fact, there's definitely something here about expressing yourself, about having big ideas and choosing your words carefully. But also not being afraid to go big, not being afraid to express yourself clearly and loudly. Because there's something here, like with Hallelujah, I mean, specifically what's coming to mind is the fact that, like, the song Hallelujah, it's a beautiful song. It does have some religious imagery and references and within it. But it's also a song that's like, it's like it can be from the perspective of someone spiritual or religious, like deeply religious, but also like it's questioning faith, and it's saying things that are very direct and even could be construed as inflammatory at times, like, or even questioning certain beliefs, or saying, like, you say, I took the name in vain, like, right, like saying something that someone else might take offense to, or might construe as offensive, but like saying it anyway, right? Like, there's something a little bit hardcore in that song, even though it's gentle and evocative of maybe more melancholy emotion, but there's something deeply feeling about that song. And so, there might be, you're being motivated to share your wisdom and not be afraid to speak your mind, and speak from a place of passion, of deep emotion, and speak clearly and bluntly and openly. A little bit of what I was maybe doing in the last group, because I got quite passionate and maybe even a little blunt and maybe even a little harsh from some perspectives, but it was really flowing, right? I really felt like there was something I needed to get across, and maybe that was the way that some people needed to hear and receive the message. We all need different things at different times, and so in this group, we are being motivated to speak our minds, to speak from our passions, from our wisdom, and to not be afraid of offending people, not being so afraid of someone else's reaction, in service of the idea that whatever we have to say, especially when it's coming from a place of passion and truth, and when it feels real and authentic to us, knowing that that's meant to be expressed, it's meant to be shared, and just because someone doesn't necessarily receive it well doesn't mean that you said or did something wrong. That's sometimes what someone needs to hear in that moment. Or, you're within your rights to stand up for yourself or someone else in a certain moment, even if someone takes offense to that, or someone doesn't appreciate that. But it does feel like it's coming from a place specifically of wisdom and love and passion and caring for others, and belief in certain causes, belief in certain ideas, true belief in what you're saying. Not just from a place of like defensiveness or insecurity or fear, things like that, but from a place of deep conviction, deep truth, and authenticity. And within that, although you might come across as passionate, there's also something, like when you're speaking from a place of truth, conviction, and passion that is coming from deep within you, there's like a stillness almost underneath what might be a very vibrant energy. That's quite different than if you're coming at something from a place of like anger, fear, resentment, and like things like that, But I feel like you've got a lot of conviction and passion within yourself about something or something or other that is being asked to be shared, to be spoken. And there's definitely something about keeping your eye on the prize, maybe even stepping into a role of guardianship, or like trusting in your ability to, it's just like a warrior energy even. So there's a couple things actually, because I'll read the Hawk book, I'll read the booklet for Hawk later, and there might be more clarity on what they mean by guardianship and vision strong. But I'm feeling, first of all, similarities between the dragon and the hawk. Feeling like, even though I feel like they have different kinds of personalities, like fictional dragons versus like real life hawks, you know what I mean? But like feeling this sense of like protectiveness, even like warrior energy, And this dragon is guarding its gold. It's guarding its hoard. It's guarding this thing that's precious to it. Of course, that can be representative sometimes of like greed, or, you know, and to an extent, I was almost getting a message of like, there's like a lot of abundant, like maybe wisdom or ideas or nuggets of gold that you've collected throughout your life that are begging to be shared and expressed. And you're being motivated to either continue expressing those things, continue sharing your wisdom, and maybe even doing so in a more and more confident and passionate way, or to even just start doing that altogether if you have, if maybe you've hesitated to do so, with more conviction and confidence in yourself and with no apologies. But also it could be about protecting the things that are really precious to you. And that's where a lot of this passion and energy might come from, is a feeling of protectiveness for specific people, society as a whole, like people who've been marginalized, people in your communities, your family members, things like that. You're being encouraged to not hold back in terms of passionately protecting the things that you believe in, but doing so, again, like I said, from a place of centeredness, truth, passion, and compassion for all, while also being strong and blunt in your wording, and being thoughtful with your wording as well, you know? Like, we all lash out in anger and fear at times, but that's not the place that you're really being encouraged to communicate from. It's not to judge those moments, and also if there's something in the moment that you really need to react to protect something, or something that's really sensitive for you, that maybe you still have some things to work through. Like, it's not criticizing like moments of anger or even and things like that, but it's also like acknowledging that when you're speaking from this place of passion, of bluntness, of directness, and you're not afraid to step up and protect other people, when you can do that from a place of strength and sureness in yourself, it's not going to come across in the same way as doing so from a place that's maybe has more ill intent. And so maybe some of you have been having trouble trusting yourself to communicate well and communicate in a way that is respectful of yourself and others while still being firm and expressive. And so you might still be honing that skill, working to bring yourself to a place of confidence where you feel like you can do so in a way that will be effective for yourself, but still you're being encouraged to do so, to share. You've got a lot of abundance to share. Also, you might be encouraged to put yourself out there because it might help bring in more abundance for you as well. If this is about physical abundance, you might also be encouraged. We lost our last candle, but it's okay. We're going to keep going. We are being encouraged to share the abundance that we have and acknowledge that abundance might come in different forms. So for some people, sorry if I just hit the mic, I'm just straightening this out. But for some people that might look like physical abundance, and there might be ways that you can protect and help people from a place of having resources to share and more than enough. But for other people, it might be coming from a place of having a lot of wisdom, having a lot of emotional energy, having a lot of energy in general to share, and having a lot of ways to be of service, having ideas, creative ideas. This is similar actually to something that came through in the latest collective reading that says a message that we need to hear right now, and it's about quote unquote healthy narcissism, love as action, and also finding the ways that we have individually to give. Like, what are the things that we have to give? Because sometimes we feel like we can only give if we have enough money, or we can only give if we have enough this or that. But we're not meant to give things that we don't have. We're only meant to give what we do have, right? And so it's recognizing what we do have and seeing that as worthwhile, and seeing that as worthy, and seeing that as worthy of being shared, because it actually has a material impact on the world around us and the people around us when we share from a place of passion and authenticity, whether it's with our words, our actions, our money, our resources, our creative ideas and projects, our art. It's all important for us to share these things from a place of our own inner truth and confidence and strength. I don't think I read the Four of Charisma from the booklet yet, so I'm going to do that. Because I do like the little simple phrases that come through in this book. Okay, yeah. So this could also be important for you. and kind of relates to what I just said, but being careful with finances while not falling into fear or greed. Yes. So like, part of the reason why you might, there might be hesitation on your part when it comes to sharing whatever it is that you're being encouraged to share, whatever it is that you actually have, that you have more than enough of that you can give, whether it's ideas, money, time, art, whatever. Your hesitation around that could be related to not being sure where to strike the balance between, not overgiving and not depleting yourself to an extent where you feel powerless again, or you feel like you're just giving and giving and giving, and like you don't, and you run out of resources, like being afraid of running out of resources, versus the act of greed where you're hoarding and hoarding and hoarding. You're not sharing yourself. You're not sharing your wealth. You're not sharing your resources. You're accumulating and accumulating and falling into a culture of greed. Which, the most recent collective reading that I did, which is in early November of 2024. This is a timeless reading, and that actually is a timeless reading as well. But I recorded that reading in early November of 2024. So if you want to go back and look for that, it's the thumbnail says a message that we all need to hear right now, and the title says healthy narcissism in quotes, etc., etc. And you'll recognize it. That might have messages for you. But some of it I've already just said, and that is that you have something to share. And whatever it is, you're being encouraged to share it and to stand firmly in your decision to share and to recognize your own worth and the worth in what you have to share, especially doing so intentionally from a place of protection, of guardianship, of empowerment. And any hesitations that you might have, you're being encouraged to look at those and to acknowledge where maybe you have hesitations from experiences where you overgave in certain areas in the past, or where you had a tendency to give things that you didn't have, promise energy that you didn't have, promise resources that you didn't have, or where you felt like you never had enough in the past. And you're being asked to look at those, but also to look at where you might be hoarding or holding on to, or being afraid to share out of fear, out of greed, out of feeling like you will never have enough, or out of feeling like, well, in the society of greed that we often find ourselves inhabiting, if no one else is going to give, why should I, right? That kind of thing. It's like, sometimes we have those kinds of thoughts, and sometimes we're encouraged to have that kind of attitude, but I feel like a lot of people here would like to see a world where we are sharing and we are more giving with each other, and where there's less fear and less protectiveness and guardedness and more openness and peace and love and things like that. And if that's something that means something to you, it's all about finding the little ways and big ways in which you can share yourself and open up more to giving what you have, while feeling worthy, feeling like what you have to say and what you have to offer is actually making a difference to someone out there. And also like enjoying the act of giving, and like enjoying the fact that there's something that you have that's really valuable, because that's what it comes down to, is that a lot of you have not only like physical things or resources or ideas that are valuable, but you have intentions that are valuable, because those intentions come from a place of love and from a place of wanting to give and wanting to share. And you're being called to recognize that even those intentions themselves are valuable and not always reflected in a lot of the things we see in our society, and don't discount that, really acknowledge that the intention with which you give is valuable in and of itself. And again, like, it's also knowing that you're only giving what you have. You're not being asked to give anything that you don't have. So it's not a place of self-sacrifice to the detriment of your own well-being or your emotional health and your mental and physical health. It's an acknowledgement that which you have more than enough of, that which you have the inkling to share, the inclination to share, the desire to share from a place of love is worthwhile. It's worthy, and it's meaningful. It's going to have an impact, and is having an impact if this is something that you're already in the process of doing, right? So let's now read from the Angel Answers book and the Hawk as well. So first of all, abundance. Also, like I said, there might be like, if you're bringing in abundance or working to create abundance for yourself or create an abundant attitude for yourself, it's working, it's bringing things in for you. And also you're being asked to look at the ways in which you are already abundant, because that will help you feel more comfortable giving, and also help you recognize what you actually have to give. That is, that will come from a place of confidence and the acknowledgement that, there's things that you have that are worth something. So abundance says, great abundance will find its way into your life. Exciting. Your plans will yield prosperity, providing a sense of security about your future. Your angels will be with you as you take the actions necessary to manifest your dreams. And that's another thing too, is like, aside from the message about giving from a place of abundance and the fact that you already have things to share, if you are looking to create more security for yourself and more abundance for yourself, putting yourself out there will help you do that. But it's also like, that's something that's still valid to do. It's not just greedy to want to create stability and abundance for yourself and to invite things in. There's a balance. There is an openness that you can approach the world with, where you're open to receiving and bringing things in and creating more for yourself, and also equally happily giving and freely offering what you have already gained to the world in return. But also just like because it feels good to do that, especially when you feel abundant, right? So abundance is not always financial in nature. You may be seeking to manifest new ideas, a large circle of friends, vibrant health, or romantic love. This card can also reflect an inflow of any of these types of treasures in your own life. Open your arms to heaven and receive with gratitude that which you desire. And this could also be like, there could be a specific situation in which you've been holding yourself back, in which you got like love to share, or got where you've got words to share, ideas to share that you've been holding yourself back in. Like if there's something specific that this resonates with, take that as a specific message about that thing. But also this could be even more of a general attitude that you're being encouraged to focus on, to hone, and to step into in every area of your life. Now let's get into Hawk. Hawk says... Where is she? There you are. Okay. Hawk is one of the most amazing raptors, which are universally recognized as guardians and messengers. Hawks spend 3/4 of their day perched somewhere observing the area around them, searching to detect the subtlest of movements, patiently waiting until the best moment to strike. Because of this habit, the appearance of a hawk can forewarn us of possibilities for new ventures and possible trouble. Your own perceptions will be heightened through the coming few weeks. Trust your perceptions at this time. Oh, and if this is related to something about speaking your mind and standing up for people or standing up for yourself or putting yourself out there in that way, this is also like helping you recognize your discernment of how you, like in the moment, honing your intuition so that you'll know when is the right moment to step forward and stand out and stand up in some way, and what moment might not be the best moment to do so, right? Just like knowing that you'll know. You can intuit and step up when you're feeling called to, but also hold back when you're not feeling called to, and that you have that discernment and you also have the capability to make those decisions for yourself. The powerful beak and talons of the hawk are other outstanding characteristics. With its great ability to grasp without fear, Hawk encourages us to grasp our own opportunities when they present ourselves. Yes, the idea that like if you can receive without fear, if you can grasp, if you can hold on to, if you can obtain things without fear, you can also give without fear. But you being able to do both, right? It's not just one or the other, it's both. Hawks have a scaled leg to protect themselves against bites when striking prey, reassuring us that there is protection for the things we strike out for. Yes, the idea also of like if you're moving out into a place where you're putting yourself out there in some way, whether in one situation or in general in an area of life, move with as though you're protected, feel safe, maybe even ask for or call on the protection of certain spirits or angels if that feels like something that you want to do that would help you. But also have your own internal protective system in place. Be aware of the ways that you can protect yourself and keep yourself safe while at the same time putting yourself out there. And build that foundation for yourself so that when you find yourself in the moment where you might feel a little bit uncertain or shaky or insecure or even afraid, but you're, doing the thing anyway, you can be assured that you have your own protective system to fall back on. You have things to help support you no matter what the outcome is, right? Hawk's appearance always heralds a time for greater strength and vision, which will help us tremendously in our present endeavors. We will have protection in our journeys and endeavors. Now is the time to gallantly move forward with them. Yeah, so whatever you need to gallantly move forward with in your life, especially around sharing and also generating and creating abundance, it's time that you do so. There's a lot of courage here. There's a lot of also just conviction and a feeling of passion, a feeling of really acknowledging what you have to give and what you have to offer to the world, and stepping up and doing so courageously, and having your discernment, having your it's not like either you keep yourself safe, you protect everything you have, and you hole away and hide away forever, and you never take any chances, and you stay safe, and then you keep everything that you have, or you put yourself out there and lose everything. It's not an either or. It's a both. It's a protect yourself, keep yourself safe, and also be brave, step out, have courage, take inspired action from a place of truth and passion when it feels right for you, and grow your discernment to know the difference, but also know that if this resonates with you, there is something that you're being encouraged to step out on and to call on the protections of the universe, and to Four of Charisma, it can be a card about protection as well, and I do feel like you are very protected, but it's like tapping into that, knowing that, and moving forward and taking up your power, because there's some way in which you are very powerful, and that power, that inner power, it's not from a place of domination, but from a place of confidence within yourself and what you believe in, and conviction in the better world that you see, or the better life that you see for yourself, or just having that North Star that like love and expressing yourself in a loving way is worthy no matter how it's received. Those things will get you through. Those things are worth acting on, and you are capable of sharing yourself in ways that are really valuable and helpful to other people. And you're being called upon to do so now. And that, I hope, is very motivating for you to start sharing in whatever way resonates with you right now. So, very cool. I hope that was helpful. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that was motivational for you. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Hit the notification bell so you know when another reading is coming up. We also offer personal tarot readings on sunflowerphilosophy.com, so if you're interested in that, check that out. The link is in the description. And we also offer hypnosis and human design services as well. We are certified consulting hypnotists, so if that's something that interests you, check that out. But I hope you have a wonderful life, and I will see you in another reading again sometime very soon. Bye!